Hi, this is Pim from Smart Diabetics Academy. Today I want to talk about how to break the weight loss plateau and lose weight on keto. In this video I'm going to talk about what you need to do to finally get over that weight loss plateau. And this video is going to be more about mindset than actual diet, because I have done a lot of videos on what foods you need to eat to lose weight. But I want to say one thing before we get started. If you are on insulin, weight loss is going to be really difficult for you because of the insulin, because it's a storage hormone and it will prevent you from burning the storage fat that you have on your body. You can still use what I'm teaching you in this video, but your first and primary goal should be to get your blood sugar under control so that you can get off those medications, and then you can start focusing on the actual weight loss. So these will somewhat go hand in hand to some degree, and you can use these techniques to achieve them both at the same time as far as you can get. But just keep in mind that if you're on insulin, it's going to be a much harder time for you to do this than anyone else, and it's not because you're failing or anything, it's because of the insulin itself. So that was that. So many people are constantly on and off different diets, and in between they just fall off the wagon and then they hop on again, maybe the same wagon, maybe a different one, but they just keep living their lives like that and nothing happens. Their weight is pretty much the same on average from year to year, or slightly increasing. You might actually be one of those people one of those few people I should say, who are being really strict about your diet and you still can't lose weight. And you feel like that is unfair, and I agree, it is unfair because you're doing everything right, or so you think anyway. So if that is you, you really do need to listen carefully to what I have to say, because this is going to help you massively. Because you are on the right track, but you just need to change something. So to get to your goal weight, something has to change. You might not know what it is right now, but we're going to try to figure that out. So if you're not cheating, you will have to start looking at where you have room for improvement. And that might be the amount that you're eating, it might be the macros that you have got wrong for your body, it might be how many meals you're having every day, it might be your snacking habits, it might be the time of the day that you're eating, and so on. It could be so many things, and you will have to explore that either on your own or get a coach or try things out and see where you're at and what is working and what isn't. And so often I see people who they're strictly eating one meal per day because they think that this is good for them, and it's absolutely good for many people, but then they can't lose weight. In which case the right foods 2 or 3 times per day usually results in weight loss. So all they have to do is actually eating more often, because they've taught their bodies that I'm just going to eat 1 meal per day. The body's getting used to that, and it feels a little bit like a starvation mode, so you want to switch things up a little bit, and that usually helps. But I also see a lot of diabetics who they have been brainwashed basically to eat 5-6 times per day to keep the blood sugar stable and to not eat too much at any one meal, etc. So they're constantly snacking, and that is preventing any sort of fat loss from happening at all, and it might even result in them eating more energy than they're actually spending. And in this case, when your hormones are out of whack, this actually does matter. So whatever your problem is, you need to identify it and then do this work with that particular goal or that particular problem in mind. So if you are truly on a low carb diet, you should not have any physiological cravings for crap foods. So that would be different from the psychological or mental cravings that you have, and that just means that your blood sugar is sort of stable and your hormones are stable, they are not jumping all over the place when you're eating or when you're fasting. You have energy throughout the day. It's not like you have that afternoon slump where you just get super tired. And you're only hungry when you're actually hungry because your hormones are working well, and they're working well enough to provide you with accurate information, the information that you need to tell you whether you should be eating or not. But what often happens is that we get scared, right? So if you're not hungry and you don't feel like eating 5 times per day, and then you're full after eating just half the amount of food that you're used to eating, it's very easy to get scared, because we have been programmed to think that, oh my god, I need to eat more food, I'm gonna get malnourished, I'm not eating enough. But that's not necessarily the case, and in most cases that is not the case. Unless you're super skinny and actually malnourished, that's probably not the case. So not eating enough can absolutely be a real thing for some people. And as I said, I do see it often enough, especially with those people that are strictly doing 1 meal per day and think that that is the best strategy ever to lose weight, and it works really well for a while and then it doesn't anymore. But if you are not hungry because your body is telling you that it does not need more food, what makes you think that you shouldn't listen to that? What makes you think that you know better than your body? Beats me. When you are overweight, so many things are out of whack, and you're most likely hungry or you're craving stuff constantly. So when you're getting back to balance, when your hormones are getting balanced, even if you still have weight to lose, your body is going to start telling you things. It's going to start function the way that it's meant to be functioning. So when you're getting back to this balance, why would eating less be dangerous or abnormal for that matter? Why would it? So you need to distinguish between want, need, cravings, and actual hunger. Can't speak now. If you feel an urge to, or a strong need to just fill yourself up with some food, even the good foods that you are eating, if you have cravings for stuff, even if it's good foods, this is an emotional eating issue. If you feel that hollow, gnawing hunger that comes and goes in waves in your stomach, you're probably hungry and you should probably eat some food. And what you should be eating is some protein with a little bit of fat. And that should be enough. If the thought of protein is not appealing to you, you're most likely not hungry. And that is usually something that is like a physiological craving that is happening when your hormones are out of whack, that is tricking you that you should be eating something. So if you're well fat adapted, you shouldn't have those cravings. So, and the same thing goes for, let's say that you are having dinner and then you finished and then you want more food. Unless you didn't have a lot of food on your plate, unless it was way too little. This is most likely also an emotional eating issue and not real hunger. So just keep that one in mind, because a lot of the time we tend to want to overeat at one particular meal just because we can, when we can't do the snacking and the other things. And I also want to point out that you should be eating foods that you actually like. I mean, that sounds very basic, but it isn't, because if you don't like the foods that you're eating, if you're only eating them because they are supposed to help you lose weight or something else, please don't bother, because this is just going to trip you up along the way. That's never going to work long term. So make sure that the foods that you eat are foods that you like, and when you eat them, try to really pay attention to what they taste like and enjoy them. Give yourself that space to really enjoy these foods, to feel what they taste like, the texture, and how you react to it, and how much you enjoy that, how happy your brain feels when you're eating these foods. And eat until you're full and satisfied. and that should be enough. And if you do this, there shouldn't be a problem, but you might have thoughts about, oh my god, that's not a lot of food, I should be eating more, this is really weird, I have never eaten this little in my life, this can't be good for me. All those kind of thoughts, you might have them, but hey, listen, it is not weird. It's actually you listening to your body for once and not just carrying on with what you've been doing forever. And you might have been taught that you should be eating more, and it's really important that you're eating 5-6 meals per day to keep your blood sugar stable. Or you might have read on the cereal package that a normal human being should be eating 2,000 calories per day if you are a man or a woman or whatever it is. And you got that in your mind and you're thinking, oh my god, I've only eaten 1,000 calories today, that's not going to be good, I'm gonna get into starvation mode and then I'm gonna start gaining fat. That's not necessarily true. Because if you still have weight to lose and you can access that body fat, you have plenty of energy on your body and you can keep going for months and months on end. And you have to learn to start trusting your body, because when you lose more weight, what's going to happen is that your body is going to tell you when it thinks that the fat stores are getting low, and it's going to tell you that, hey, we're getting a bit low here, it's probably a good idea that you start eating a little bit more. It will tell you when it needs more food, if everything is working the way it should do. And when it does, that's when you need to listen. Just because you have lost weight and all of a sudden you get much more hungry, if you ignore that, that is when you are going into starvation mode. Because your body needs more food and you're going to suppress it on purpose, and that is not a good thing. So you need to listen and you need to obey as long as it is in relation to real hunger and real nutritious food. Okay? So essentially what I want to make sure that you understand as well is that what you believe about the process of losing weight and getting over that weight loss plateau would be what you actually create when it comes to how you experience this whole journey. Okay, so if you believe that it's going to be hard work and you are going to be struggling and you're gonna miss out on eating all these yummy foods, and so therefore you can't lose weight, you will for sure be miserable going through this process. And trying to do it this way is most likely not going to be very successful, and you're going to trip up along the way. That's almost a given. But one thing that you can do is that you need to believe it is possible for weight loss to be easy. So when you believe that it is a struggle, you will subconsciously create obstacles for yourself and experiences that will make it a struggle. You will see everything that makes it hard to do, and you will acknowledge that, and you will reinforce that behavior that gets you there. So a good example of this would be like when you go out to a party or something and there's food around. Normally you wouldn't necessarily care very much for these foods. Let's say you don't. But since you're on this weight loss journey, your mind is going to make this very difficult for you, because that is what you believe that it's going to be. So it's supposed to be difficult, and therefore you're going to think that, oh my god, this is my only chance of getting to eat these types of foods. I need to have it because this is just happening this weekend, and then I don't know when the next party is, whenever I'm next going to see these kind of foods and have the opportunity to eat them. This is really special. It's just one evening this week. I'm not doing this every day. I need to have that now. Whatever it is that is coming up into your mind, all these thoughts are going to be very unhelpful for you to reach your goal. And then you're going to give in and you're going to eat them, and that is you're going to see that as another failure for you, which reinforces the whole belief that it's a struggle and that you won't be able to get over this weight loss plateau. So when you reach a plateau and your weight loss stalls, if you believe that's going to be hard, and maybe you believe that you won't ever be able to get over it, I don't know, that's what's going to happen, because unconsciously you will trip yourself up. It's crazy how we do that, but we do it. And I'm not saying that it's going to be a breeze and it's going to happen in the next week, but if you can get yourself to believe that it will be easy, or it will be easier than you first thought, the whole process will become much more enjoyable and you will actually get there. Because now you're going to look at the opportunities and the things that actually feel easy, rather than everything that feels hard. So if you can start thinking about losing weight as something that will happen if you do your homework, just as passing the exams at university will get you a degree, if you do the homework, you're going to lose weight. So all the assignments, all the tests that you do, all the way will determine what sort of degree you're getting at the end. Just as all the choices that you're making along this journey will determine how much weight you lose. Yeah? So if you don't hand in all your assignments at university, you might not qualify for your degree, even if you finish 90-95% of them. And it's the same thing with getting over that weight loss plateau. If you are just doing some things but not everything that you should be doing, you might be stuck. Nothing will happen. It won't move, because you haven't done what's needed to get over it. You haven't done what's needed to pass that exam. But the thing is that no one is telling you how many assignments there are along the way, so you will just have to do them all. You can't just skip a few here and there and then end up with doing 80%, because that's not going to give you your degree at the end of it. It's not going to get you over that weight loss plateau, because you haven't done the work. Because so often we think that, yeah, but I've done this, that, and that, and then I failed with this, that, and that. But I should have got over it because I put some work into it. But that's not how things work. You might have to do it all. You might have to do 7 out of 10. You might have to do 9 out of 10. Or you might have to do 10 out of 10. I don't know. I don't know your body. But your best chance of succeeding is if you're doing 10 out of 10. So I don't know about you, but for me, studying doesn't have to be a struggle. I actually enjoy studying. For me, it's just a series of events that need to happen for me to get my degree, and I'm allowed to enjoy it along the way. So I can get curious and I can do my research and I can get involved with it and actually enjoy it. Just as losing weight is a series of events and choices that you have to make along the way to get to your goal weight. And you are allowed to enjoy making those choices. You don't have to be miserable while you're doing it. You can make it something fun. So sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's easy. That's going to depend on the day or what obstacles are in the way, how successful you are at the moment, etc. But you can do both hard and easy. And you can enjoy being in control of your choices and what that will give you. So my question to you is, do you feel free around food? Do you feel at peace being around food at all, without the need to eat? If you don't, you have work to do. If you do sometimes, you know how you could actually feel all the time if you do the work. So weight loss will actually come as a result of you having food freedom. When you don't obsess about food anymore, the weight is going to come off. So when you're at peace with staying on your eating plan, when this is satisfying to you, the weight loss will come. Because your body will want to get back to its homeostasis, where it should be. For some people that is less weight than they want to weigh, and for some people it's a bit more than they want to weigh. And then if that's the case, sure, you can play around with that, but the initial step is getting over the weight loss plateau, getting to where your body wants to be, and then see if that is where you want to be. Do you feel good being there, etc. So you don't have to starve yourself, you don't have to eat extra food just because you should eat more according to your age and your supposed metabolism. No, you get to listen to your body, and then you get to eat until you're satisfied and satiated, and until you're not hungry anymore. That's really important. And then you get to stop. So when you're not hungry anymore, you can choose to stop, or you can choose to continue eating, but which one will get you over that weight loss plateau? And then you can feel good about every single decision that you're making. So let me ask you this. If you knew for certain that the weight would come off and it was easy, how would you do it? If you were looking back from the future and the weight is already off, and you are at your goal weight, you got over that plateau, it might have taken you months, I don't know. But you know that it's going to happen. That's for certain. What would you say? What would you tell yourself to do to get there? So just play around with that thought for a little bit. Because you might come up with some incredible answers that might help you and make this really, really easy for you to do. You never know. Because if you know that it will happen, you don't need to be in a hurry. Like, it's gonna happen. Why do you need to rush things? You don't need to rush things. You can just do them. And when you're not in a hurry, it's going to be easy to just take baby steps each and every day towards your goal, because you know that you will get there. And these steps, every single step, is going to help you to get there. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment. Let me know how you are going to use this information to get to your goal weight, or if you have done something similar, please do share that, because I think that will be valuable to other people who are watching this video. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.